Дивись, їде тут.
Іду!
Javelins have been the undisputed favorite and the most dangerous ATGM for Russian armored vehicles. The following are examples of several Russian armored personnel carriers and tanks destroyed in an ambush while entering border areas. Ukrainian troops finished off the lagging vehicles, and this was another failed attack attempt by a convoy of Russian tanks, an armor that was penetrated by ATGMs and destroyed by artillery. Tanks are the #1 target on this battlefield, and that's why the military industry is constantly developing and improving systems to combat them. Whoever destroys the enemy's armored vehicles more effectively wins local battles, and local battles pave the way to victory in today's wars. There are various kinds of means of fighting tanks. Let's see how the Javelin FGM-148 anti-tank missile system deals with Russian armor. Often Russian tanks and armored personnel carriers set off intense fireworks. A light tank system that allows saboteurs to ambush deep into enemy territory, with a single soldier stepping out of cover and firing the tank with a staggering ATGM. Ukrainian troops destroy a Russian BMP trying to advance in the Donetsk region. Drone footage from the Ukrainian Mountain Assault Battalion shows 4 Russian BMP armored vehicles trying to advance towards Ukrainian troop positions around Bilohorivka in the Donetsk region. This was a strange move by the Russian army. We can clearly see that the Ukrainian artillery had made many attacks on the Russian BMPs even though they were not on target. But this did not stop the Russian troops, and they continued to advance towards the Ukrainian line of fire. Ukrainian artillery delivered more hits, even more accurately completely destroyed 3 Russian BMP. Another Russian armored convoy destroyed by a Ukrainian attack showed an advancing Russian armored attack formation near the village of Pisky in the Donetsk region. The position of Russian amphibious armored fighting vehicle detonated an anti-tank mine, and it caused a huge explosion that destroyed the Russian vehicle, but some of the Russian crew survived, and they jumped out of the vehicle after the Russian BMP-2 armored vehicle was hit by a missile launched from Motorized Brigade 2-59 Ukraine, where the trajectory of the Javelin projectile is very clear on this video, damaged the Russian BMP, but still managed to advance with its troops inside. Russian tanks constantly try to break into the city. Ukrainian troops repulse attacks by Russian tanks and armored vehicles on a daily basis using Javelin missiles. The city of Bakhmut is almost captured by the Russians, and they are operating tanks there, but the Ukrainians destroy all military equipment and arrange unexpected surprises for them. Ukrainian troops continued their heroic resistance against the Russian army. This footage shows how Putin's soldiers were defeated and Ukrainian fighters destroyed Russian tanks and armored vehicles in various ways. Ukrainian troops take the javelins pointed at the Russian tanks and fire missiles. This is what it looks like from the drones. Each day Ukrainian javelins fired missiles helping to stop convoys of Russian tanks and armored personnel carriers. The javelin missile hit a Russian armored personnel carrier tank, turned, and went to another destroyed tank to evacuate the grieving troops and remove them from the battlefield. Russian soldiers strayed and drove down mined road after the explosion. The crew left the tank. Ukrainian forces launched ATGM and finished it off. Russian soldiers and another armored personnel carrier were ambushed by Ukrainian troops. The combat mission was taken over by a Ukrainian missile, an easy target for the Ukrainian armed forces after being hit by a burning armored vehicle causing a massive explosion. The other videos are the failure of the BMP standing in the forest belt, and the fire at the AFU positioned Ukrainians firing from ATGMs. A precise hit on the armored vehicle knocked it out of action, and the powerful explosion of the armored vehicle split in half. The case would end badly. Ukrainian artillery struck several precise hits, one of which accurately hit the armored vehicle and destroyed it with an anti-tank missile. The Stugna-P continued to destroy the Russian tanks, the explosion scattering the tank parts in different directions. Another brave Russian tank explodes on a mine after the battle. The story mission ends with a huge pillar of fire and the loss of the T-90 tank. In general, Russian tanks continue to be destroyed. With footage like this, they continue to burn, fire 5 meters. Columns of fire or explosions throw the tower tens of meters into the sky. Similar videos in which a Ukrainian drone drops grenades on a Russian armored vehicle, and another Russian tank falls into a Ukrainian trap and loses track of it after the grenade drops to start a fire. The drone flies to a safe distance and watches as the tanks burn, and the Russian tanks are stopped by Ukrainian artillery. The drone drops a grenade and hits the open hatch. This is the destruction of an abandoned Russian BMP. Nothing is left in place of the BMP. Now this Russian trash is not going anywhere, and it is the proper job of an FPV drone operator. Ukrainian troops dispatch destroyer drones, completely disabling the BMP. Then Ukrainian troops finished off the vehicle with a Stugna anti-tank guided missile system. Here is another unsuccessful attempt by Russian tanks to break through to the Donetsk area. It seems that after another attack the tank burst into flames like a match. Ukrainian forces also destroyed other enemy equipment and ammunition depots. Near Bakhmut, the Russians decided to move the compound closer to the woods. An artillery barrage caused the engines to catch fire, then an explosion occurred. Ukrainian artillery destroys Russian ammunition depots on the battlefield. This footage shows the first Ukrainian strike hitting the field in front of the ammunition storage before the second landed a direct hit and detonated it. This is the excellent and coordinated work of the soldiers of the 103rd Separate Territorial Defense Brigade. From the second artillery fire, the enemy's ammunition depot was destroyed. The video shows the Russian war machine lying between two fields before being hit by Ukrainian ordnance in a huge explosion. The images were obtained from the 66th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, along with a statement saying, "minus the enemy BMP." Ukrainian soldiers storm Russian trenches in the video of the gruesome attack on Wagner in Bakhmut. This video shows Ukraine's 3rd Mechanized Brigade fighting Russian Wagner soldiers at very close range as they take trenches. The attack was from the Bakhmut area, and the 3rd Brigade said the enemy soldiers were Russian Wagner mercenaries. The 3rd Brigade said sharing the video is for viewers to experience the real adrenaline and emotions experienced by Ukrainian fighters. After clearing their section of the trenches, the Ukrainian troops withdrew and regrouped. Ukrainian troops stormed Russian-held trenches in a Bakhmut counterattack and took prisoners. Ukraine's 10th Mountain Assault Brigade posted this video of troops clearing Russian trenches. The unit said it demonstrated a counterattack near Bakhmut that recaptured 4 square kilometers of territory. After tanks bombarded the trenches, Ukrainian troops moved in on foot at dawn. They started throwing grenades into the Russian Fox's hole to clear his position. A surviving Russian soldier is seen running away, and Ukrainian troops open fire. The video ends with a Russian soldier being taken prisoner, and the unit praises its troops' professional and coordinated actions in the attack. Ukrainian troops forced Russian soldiers out of their trenches in tanks and continued to press their counterattack.